Hello everyone! It's been a year actually since I introduced the TD-716, and here we are with the TD-516. Now the V51 is a new module, and it's not the son of the V71, it's actually its little brother, but it is very powerful. And now what is really unique about the new V-drums modules by Roland, the V51 and the V31, is that they actually have inside the same awesome powerful motherboard, so processing sound memory, as the big V71. So let's get into some of the features. Okay, so very specifically it has the same sounds and even the same standard preloaded expansion slots as the V71. This means that I can actually play the same kind of music and the same kind of tunes like I did last year, but I have some new music with me. And also we can incorporate the same digital pads with the big TD-716, TD-716 and the V71, because also the V51 has 3 digital inputs for USB pads. So again, I'm using the 18-inch ride, the 14-inch hi-hat and the 14-inch digital snare, and this gives me great playing pleasure, like this. So even ghost notes, but these are the pads we already know. These are the new ones, the PD10s and the PD12s, and they actually have a new triggering system inside, 3 sensors. And it really feels, well, that's always been my message, but now even more. The V51 make you feel like playing an acoustic set. So let's look into this, because there's more in the V51 module that is really neat and also a little bit new compared to the V71. And that, for instance, is the incorporated coach function. So the V51 can be your very intelligent, non-emotional drum trainer, drum teacher, because it has a very neat incorporated coach function. Now, let's look into that. Shift, coach, here we go. And for instance, one of the cool things is the phrase trainer. Let me show you this. It has plenty of exercises, as you can see. And it also has some grooves and fills exercises, but let's go first into some technique exercises. For instance, singles and doubles. Okay, here they are. They actually show the exercise in the display, which is really neat, but it's also an interactive display. It's really moving along with your playing. So you really need to follow the exercises, and it teaches you also something about music notation. So I'm gonna put the demo on, and here we go. 2, 3, 4. Singles, doubles. Okay, let's put the demo off. You can loop that exercise, but let's just do it one stretch. 4 counts, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. My score is excellent because I paid it, okay? It's just a joke. So my score is excellent, but you can also, for instance, move around with the click. If you want to practice with more 16th notes, you can actually do so. You can totally do many things with the click. You can actually add, for instance, very simple, like this. I can go for a little bit of 16th notes, and maybe even, yeah, 16th notes, 8 notes, here we go, up, here. That's 32nd notes, and you just put the click on, here we go. That's a little bit fast for me. So it goes really, really, really wide, okay? Really, lots of possibilities. Let's go back to the coach. Because the click and the coach are interactive, let's go to the phrase trainer, because it also comes with grooves and fills. And one I really like, for instance, is this one. Did you recognize it? I'll do it again. Okay, that's the groove, but I want it to sound more like a tune I'm thinking of. It's actually based on a lot of music, so these exercises are really, really cool. So let's go to another drum kit, and let's go for this one. Why not? And now let's go back to the coach function. 1, 2, 3. It says great. Okay, now let's listen to the music which it is based on. It's really based on music. So that linear funk thing, I really like it a lot. It's, by the way, Soul Vaccination by Tower of Power. And as you can see, I was playing it along and I get some green notes, and the green notes, that actually means that I was right on the money, right on the click. So this is some of the features of the coach function. This has a lot of rhythms, lots of exercises in there. So please check them out. And the same goes for the V31, because again, the V31, the V51 share the same motherboard, same processing, the same content. And that's really neat, and the very first time this happens in the electronic drum industry. Now the good news is, because it's the same motherboard and the same processing and the same sound content, I can also use the same instrument editing as on the big V71 here on the V51. Let's get into this. Let's for instance look at this bass drum. It already has 3 layers. With the older Roland modules you could maximum go for 2 layers. On top of that, they are totally independent from each other. For instance, I can switch off those layers. Now you hear nothing. First layer, second layer, to beef it up a little bit, and then a little bit low end coming from the other one. Let's, for instance, change the low end sound. Let's do something completely out of the box. For instance, I can go, let's say, a hardstyle with a jazz musician. That's you. Well, Roland makes this possible. I can also go, and this is also very interesting, if you go into the, for instance, different levels of the kick sound to make the balance between the 3 layers. But I can also push the advanced button, and what do I see? I see the exact same screens happening than on the big V71 production module. So you have, for instance, transient designer for every single sound in those 3 layers. That's amazing. So for instance, when I go to that hardstyle thing we just did, I can, for instance, change the attack, and then, for instance, a little bit of release depth. That kills the neighbors. So you can and that you can do for the cymbals. You can do it for all the different zones on the cymbals. 3 zones, 2 zones, for the pads, rims, heads, everything. Every single layer, every single sound on the pad has transient designer, separate EQ, compressor, and so on, so on, so on. Just go to your dealer and discover this, because it's actually the same sound production tools as in the big V71, and that's an amazing step forward. But not only sound editing, instrument editing, but also the exact same sound content as in the V71. Samples, different music styles, different drum set styles, different types of cymbals, different brands of cymbals, they're all in there. Now, let me show you, we just did this. But there's also another jazz kit, and I'm easily also using the setlist function, so I can go from set number, let's say 105 to 113. And do a nice combination of a little bit of poppy kind of toms and a jazz kind of snare and kick drum. But you can even play along to music, which is inside the V51 as well. And these tunes are also coming from the V71. So let's go to song. Let's, for instance, I like this one, the Jazz 2. It's actually played by real musicians, real instruments, and it sounds something like this, without a click. And you can play weddings just by yourself, and people probably will get very tired of this tune, but still I like it. Imagine you singing along to it. So it's all incorporated in the V51. It's an amazing thing. And the good news is these things are also in the V31, which we will discover later on. So to prove to you the powerful musicality of the V51, we can go from jazz to, for instance, this. And I will change the drum set sounds in the middle of the performance. You can also connect a foot switch to the V51, make a set list, and go from one kit to another at your liking.
Mommy, I don't wanna go no more, I'm fed up. I'm out of luck, so she said, keep your head up. Give me the smile that I like so much. She said, you can give it all, but you can never give up. She could love and advice. Doesn't matter if the cat's black or white, you just gotta catch mice. It's alright, think about it. You should be proud of who you are, don't let give him advice up.
The V51. But there's one more thing which is also very important. So what's that good news? Well, the expansion slots from V71 are also available in V51 and V31. Actually, they come with the same preloaded expansions from factory. Let's look into that. I have 3 of them, which is the Woodroom Studio, the electronic and percussion expansion, and the brush expansion. But as you can see, I still have 3 other slots which are empty. And I have a phone. Now with Roland Cloud, I can download expansion slots and load them into the V51. So with the Roland Cloud app on your phone, you go to Connect, and as you can see, I have the V51, which is recognized through the Wi-Fi connection. V51 and phone can actually talk to each other. Then I go, for instance, to search and home. Okay, so here are all my choices. And the good thing is that the V51, V71 and V31 have 100 possibilities. That's called the rack system. So it's a big library of 100 expansions which you can store inside the module. But you can have 6 of those active for your kit playing on the spot. So let's do something here. For instance, I go to here, DW 50th Anniversary Collection. Okay, the DW set on the Roland set, why not? You can preview those, you go next, And then I can choose, because this is actually the same screen on my phone as on the V51, I can choose in which expansion slot I want to download those DW 50th Anniversary Collection kits. So I select this kit and this expansion slot, install, OK, instrument expansions installation completed, and here we are. It shows in the 4th slot of my V51 the DW 50th Anniversary Producer Edition. Now I can load those into kit like this. I can even preview some of those kits. And on my set number 109, it now has a punchy 50 DW 50th Anniversary kit. And it comes with symbols. This is a producer position kit. So it means that it's processed. There's a lot of room mics going on and so on, so on, so on. But imagine the possibilities with all these available kits on Roland Cloud, just loading them into your module. You don't like this particular kit? Well, just go into the expansion, load another kit. For instance, this one. You have plenty of choices there. Let's go, for instance, with the Power Edge kit, load, here we go, enter, load, up, okay. So you don't overload on top of, for instance, a kit you already liked. So it gives you confirmation screen, it's already loaded. And it comes with its specific symbol setup. So those expansion slots, they're huge, huge possibilities. Just go on Roland Cloud and see what you can do with your modules. But hey, the V51 and V31, like the V71, already come from factory with 3 expansion slots filled. So you have still 3 open slots available and the 100 in total, which you can put inside the module and load them in. But those 3 first ones, they're already really good. V51 This is a TD-516. Please check it out at your dealer. At Andertons especially. Exactly the same sounds as on the V71 and the V51 in a more compact module. But as I told you before, they all share the same motherboard, so also we have the expansion slot possibility. We have an internal coach, the same as in the V51. We have the same instrument editing, including Transient Designer, but we do have stereo out and also 2 extra inputs for pads. And you can add another crash, you can add a 4th thumb, for instance. So the V31 is actually quite powerful and quite more powerful than the predecessor. Now, ladies and gentlemen, new pads as well. PD8, brand new pads, brand new pad design, and they're actually a little bit quieter than the previous models. The PD10 and the PD12P, a brand new snare pad. And also, which I will show you later, it has a digital input, so you can combine it with any of those 3 digital pads, the ride, the snare, or the hi-hat, which I will show you later. This is the VH10 hi-hat. So let me feature it in a song just to show you how good this V31 is, even without a digital pad connected.
Your sins and step into light that is shining bright within you.
V31! This is really a really fun set. I know it's very compact, but it sounds awesome. Actually, just playing on these small pads gives you a totally different experience because you have those big sounds in there. So that is really the very powerful concept of the TD-316, like I have it here, and of course the V31 module. Now, let's look at something different. And actually, that different thing is also coming from the 51 and the 71. We also have a setlist possibility. So you can go from one set immediately to another, and this is great for this compact drum set because many of these drummers use these, for instance, with their cover bands, not only for practice at home, and now they have the big sound also possible coming through the PA at a wedding. But still, it's a very compact drum set. So let me show you a couple of things that prove that this is identical to the other two bigger brothers. First of all, for instance, instrument editing. You see, again, we have 3 layers of instruments you can combine. On top of this, we can go transient designer. Even in the V31, you have a full-blown sound production module available for you. That's amazing. It's never been done before by any other brand in the industry, and that's why I play Roland. For instance, we have the coach function. The exact same coach function as in the V51. Same exercises, same internal songs which you can play along with. And on top of this, now it comes expansion. We also have 3 already filled expansion slots, and as you can see, I actually included more expansions in the 3 empty slots. I have, for instance, downloaded a Slingerland Vintage 1958 kit from Roland Cloud, and I can also combine it with the DW Pure Maple kit. So everything goes, even in the V31. Of course, there are some differences. For instance, you don't have the pedal faders for your individual levels of the sounds. There's a little bit less inputs, but we also have a digital input, which I will feature later. But first of all, let's go into something that is really neat for this module, and it's, I think, very important for all those drummers that play in cover bands and who also play in hotels and at weddings. You have a set list. And this is really interesting, set list. And I can, for instance, combine set number 115 with set number 21, 2, 3, do something completely different in between both, like for instance this. So for this kick sound, let me show you how powerful this sound module really is. Menu, we go to Kit Edit Instrument, here we go. We have the 3 layers, okay, and I'll let you hear them, listen to them individually. This is my A layer, it's a heart attack kit. When I switch it off, something completely different. When I switch layer number 2 off, I just have the attack, which is coming from layer number 3. So let me put those back on, like for instance the bass layer. It's actually tuned in the key of the song. So that's what you can do. You can actually have a nice bass drum and put an extra sub bass sound underneath, and you will make the people dance at the wedding party, especially if they're hip people loving the V31 possibilities. It saves you a divorce. Speaking about connectivity, the VH14D digital hi-hat combined with the V31 training mid-range module. Never before we could combine a digital pad from the big series, the V71, the V51, with the V31. This is possible, there's one digital input, and I choose to combine it with the VH14D hi-hat. Now, there's another thing. This is an SD card, which also works on the V71 and V51. So I can actually save kits from the V71 from a production studio on this card, put it into the V31 and just import the V71 kits, identical settings, effects, sounds, layers, transient designer, EQ settings into the V31, and I will have the same sound in my in-ears and on the stereo output. So you can actually, thanks to the fact that they all share the same motherboard, you can combine V51 kits with your V31 module, or V31 kits even with the big V71 when you guys have a lot of budget together and decide to record your drum parts with the V71 in a bigger studio because of the separate outputs. So intercompatibility, connectivity, it's all there. Never before in the electronic drum industry this has been possible. Now, VH14D is just an amazing hi-hat. With the V31 module.
Some classical music for you.
You shouldn't applaud if you didn't like it.